Hey guys, Mike here. So today's cult classic review is 1992's Reservoir Dogs, starring Harvey Keitel as Mr. White and Tim Roth as Mr. Orange. In Reservoir Dogs, after a jewelry heist goes completely wrong, the surviving members suspect that one of them is an undercover police officer, and so we have Reservoir Dogs. So guys, this is a movie that before reviewing and watching it today, I had seen it before. Though I'd say my problem with my first viewing of Reservoir Dogs was the fact that I knew who the undercover cop was. I can't remember how I did find out, but I did know it going in. So it did kind of ruin the mystery that Reservoir Dogs was trying to set up, but at the same time it didn't ruin my enjoyment of this film. So, what do I think of Reservoir Dogs? One of the first things I did notice about Reservoir Dogs was the fact that Tarantino at this point was pretty much a novice when it came to directing. He did have one or two projects before making Reservoir Dogs, but this was the movie that really put him on the map. And I thought it was just incredible how he got such great performances out of these seasoned actors when he himself was a novice in the game. And Reservoir Dogs pretty much contains all of Tarantino's great movie qualities. Interesting plot, great characters, and insane violence. And going back to the characters, it's one of the main reasons why I really love Tarantino's movies. Because while these characters can be absolutely insanely surreal, they still feel like real people. These characters are at their best when they're just having regular conversations. When they're talking about actors or actresses, when they're talking about food, music, this is when I think they're at their most interesting. Another great thing about Reservoir Dogs, it's surprisingly easy to follow, even though it's not done in a linear fashion. Because Reservoir Dogs constantly jumps backwards and forwards in time and explains different character motivations and why they took the job. But at no point with the movie constantly jumping backwards and forwards does it ever feel jarring. You always know what's going on, and it always feels necessary to go back and explain these character motivations. Though the pacing in Reservoir Dogs can be a bit slow at points, you're never bored and you're always wanting to find out more about these characters. Though easily the most standout and iconic scene in the entirety of Reservoir Dogs is the stuck in the middle with you torture scene. I mean, trust Tarantino take a relatively obscure, upbeat song and turn it into a torture song. Though I'd say that the best scene in the movie, and the one that I relate to the most, is the diner scene that's right at the start of Reservoir Dogs. Because in the scene, Steve Buscemi's character, Mr. Pink, talks about how he doesn't tip, because he hates the idea that he has to tip, and then he says that, you know, if someone goes above and beyond, then he'll give them a tip. And I couldn't agree with that more. I hate the idea that people say that you have to tip. And they say a lot of their money comes from tips, and I'm just thinking, well, if you're not making enough money, try and get a new job. I know that realistically the situation isn't as black and white as that, but I definitely agree with Steve Buscemi's character's point of that he doesn't tip unless someone goes above and beyond. And it further relates to my point about the best scenes in this movie are the ones when they're just having regular conversations. Though, having said all this about Reservoir Dogs, I don't think that it is my favourite of his work, nor do I think that it's even his best movie. It's still a really great film with a decent plot, great performances, and a hell of a lot of violence. But I'd ultimately say that Tarantino just got better and better as the years went on. And though this isn't my favourite Tarantino movie, I can definitely see why it'd be someone else's. So guys, would I consider Reservoir Dogs a personal cult classic, and would I recommend that you guys should see it? I don't think I'd put this as a personal favourite of mine. Not that there's anything particularly wrong with it, I just think that Tarantino has done much better movies that I would definitely put in my favourite list. But as for recommending you guys to see it, I would definitely recommend that you guys should see this one. It's got everything that makes a great classic Tarantino movie that you guys should definitely check out. Okay guys, that's my cult classic review of Reservoir Dogs. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Whatever you think, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!